live
Okay,
before we start telling stories.
sorry. I hit the blue go live button, and we're live. It's Monday, August 2nd, 5:02 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to try to not smile in any way so that I don't look completely deformed or like an evil version of the Joker, because half of my face is completely numb, as I told Genevieve and Scott and Ben in our text chain, that like someday someone somewhere is going to make some video of me with slurred speech, and I'm just trying to get out in front of it. I'm just trying to like basically like knock that down before it even comes at me. So anyways, we are here to play. I don't know, we need to come up with a really good name for this, Ben. I have proposed in the title, Where's the Lie? Because like I kind of think that it's like a really nice, it's kind of fun.
But like, what if the lie is everywhere?
Yeah, but you know the phrase, like, you know that, like, do you know that phrase? Like the phrase that the kids use?
No.
Like when someone does some, okay, of course, the kids use. Genevieve, can you explain it so I can try to
No,
stop
no,
laughing?
I'm not gonna explain
Oh
it.
my god, why would you do this to me? Anyway, the where's the lie? It's kind of like someone does something like totally absurd or like over the top, and like they kind of you say like, where's the lie? Like this is just such a, like, this is so perfect that like there's no, it's like, I don't know. I think
I've
that's
literally never heard that before.
Okay.
I've never heard it either, but it is now the title, at least on a tentative placeholder basis, of this segment. We're playing Where's the Lie with Dwayne Betts. Dwayne's got two stories for us. For poll number one, you can change your vote. And I see people have already voted, though the story hasn't started. I just want to say that's like, that's, you can change your vote at any time. We will bring an audience member on screen to interrogate Dwayne about story number one. Then we're going to go into story number two. Now, Dwayne, question, process question here. Is one of them true and the other one a lie? Or might either one be true or false? Are they independent games or are they related game?
Yeah, they're independent.
All right. So we'll bring an audience. If you want to be an audience member to interrogate Dwayne on story number one, flag it for us now. KK will use her unreviewable discretion to choose a conversant to discuss it. We will have questions. We'll vote on question number one. Then we'll go on to question number two. Dwayne Betts, in lieu of fun veteran.
Oh, you have to review for everyone that they're not allowed to Google stuff.
Yes, you are not allowed to Google. I mean, nothing that we can do about it if you do. But if you Google details of Dwayne's story, just know that you're a cheating motherfucker.
I mean,
if we find out,
the police don't even Google your stories when they interrogate you.
Right. Well, our audience is way smarter than the average police department.
They just use facial recognition.
You're not allowed to Google Dwayne's story. So, Dwayne, the floor is yours. Story number one.
I didn't even want to tell this story because it takes me back to a time in my life when shit was really difficult. If you wrote a memoir and you've been to prison, prior to Facebook blowing up the way it has, really before Oprah got rid of her show, you really expected to be famous. I mean, you didn't expect to be famous. You expected to be on Oprah's show and be rich and famous. And so I published this memoir like 2009, and I had certain expectations about what my life would look like afterwards. And Oprah didn't call me. And the thing is, people see your name on a book in a bookstore, and they think you got money, right? And I had a child. I was married. I was teaching poetry. It's quite glamorous now that I'm a poet and a lawyer. When I was just a poet, I was like akin to the guy that's standing on the side of the road with a sign saying, "Will poet for food." And the shit got bad because I was like actually also doing criminal justice reserve work. I mean, not reserve, but I was doing like advocacy work, which means that, for instance, like I got letters from President Obama, like things like from President Obama point me to shit. I had like senators talking to me. I was visiting the White House. I'm sure I didn't have security clearance. But all of this stuff was pro bono work. And at the time I didn't know what pro bono meant, But I would ask people, would I be paid for this? And they would say no. And it got to the point that things was like really bad because rent would be due, student loans would be due, just people would want money from me that I didn't have. And so I told my people, look, I need to be paid for everything that I do. And I remember, right, I got asked to do something for the National Academy of Sciences. And I was like, man, they a fucking academy. They got money. They could pay me, right? And they said, well, they usually don't pay their experts. And I was like, how the fuck does that sound? How they not going to pay an expert? And they was like, well, typically their experts have graduate degrees. It's like, you didn't say that just now. You told me they didn't pay their experts. I need money, right? And I said it in a more eloquent way than that. And my representative, who wasn't a representative at all, I didn't work for her. She was like, I'll talk to him. And so they said, so the National Academy of Sciences said, we don't pay people. And I wish I could have heard what she said, but what they came back with was, we typically don't pay anybody that gives commentary, but if he produces some kind of work product that's legitimate, we could pay him $500. And so I wrote like a 3,000 word essay. It was like, all right, here you go. And they may pay me $500. And that created like a pattern, right? Again, though, I'm a poet. I don't know really anything about academia. So it's this writer, Charmaine. Who am I lying? I know what her name is. Her name is Charlene Hunter Galt, right? She calls me, right? Oh, she called somebody else I know. She heard me on NPR. Now, NPR, just for the record, did not pay me. I told them they needed to pay me too. I was given some kind of like, reading an op-ed that they were doing around Graham v. Florida. And Graham v. Florida was the Supreme case that I wrote an amicus brief for. At the time, I didn't even know what the hell a amicus brief was. I agreed to do that. Told them they should pay me too. They also declined. And I was like, cool, I'll do it anyway because Rock was doing it. I don't know if y'all know who Rock is. Dwayne Johnson. He got locked up when he was a kid too. No, not Dwayne Johnson. Fuck. Charles S. Dutton. I always confuse those two because they look a lot alike. Charles S. Dutton and you didn't get that joke because you're too young. You don't know who Charles S. Dutton is. It's so embarrassing. But anyway, so what happens is I did this thing for them, and I get asked to do this thing for NPR, and I write this piece about one of my homies, and Charlene Hunter she heard it, and she was like, we need to have this guy on the panel. I was like, on a panel? What the fuck is a panel? I knew what a panel was, but I like to play stupid sometimes when they didn't say we need to pay him to be on the panel. And so I was like, what kind of panel? And they said, where's at Martha's Vineyard? And I immediately thought Inkwell because, that's my whole association with Martha's Vineyard. So I was like, I let her go to the Inkwell. I mean, and Henry Louis Gates, it was his thing, right? And this is when New Jim Crow blows up. Backstory to this is that I had got advanced copy of the New Jim Crow because I was gonna write a review of it, right? And I read the book and said, "Oh, I'm not gonna write a review of this one. You're not gonna fucking ruin my career before I have one." I have like no comment, right? And my whole thing about the book was just that it focuses on the war on drugs, and everybody I know is locked up for something violent. And I have a book like that doesn't try to account for violence. I just felt like I didn't have much to say about the book because it was like boxing the central problem out of the narrative. But anyway. Hear that Michelle Alexander's going to be on the panel. Hear that Dr. Willie Bobo is going to be on the panel. I had never heard of Dr. Willie Bobo, so I Googled. You can't Google to see if he actually exists, but I Googled to be like, is this like, who is going to be here? And Charles Blow. And it was like, columnist Charles Blow. I was like, that's cool. That's distinguished. But I got to have my money. You can't just have me flying out to Martha's Vineyard for no money. And mind you, I'm thinking that why would people do stuff for free? I wasn't even a bootleg economist at this time, but I sort of understood that the free market meant that these esteemed people should get paid for their time. No. They expect academics to do things for free all of the time. So none of these folks were getting paid. And so they talked to the people decided to give me a couple $100. Again, I don't know why people keep deciding, and it's not a lot of money, but I could imagine these people just saying, who do you think you are? We will find somebody else. Were you on Oprah? Did your book make you an expert? No, we find somebody else. But they say you could go to Martha's Vineyard, and I get on an airplane flying to Boston. Then I fly into Martha's Vineyard, and I was on an airplane that was so small they had me sitting beside the captain. I swear it was a moment that almost threw up in this man's lap. all of that, right? I was like, yo, are you serious? First of all, why is this plane this small? Second of all, how come I've been on planes before? I mean, I know they build better planes than this. They build better planes than this in prison. When I told him this, he got pissed off. He looked at me, and it's so funny because nobody in Martha's Vineyard been to prison. So he was like, "You have no idea what prison is like, young man." And I was just like, "All right." So I get there, and this is the wild thing, right? First of all, I should say that you can't really have a lot of baggage, a lot of luggage when you get on a really tiny, tiny plane. And I had a suitcase, but it was only for one day. But I didn't really know how to pack, so I had like a suit in my suitcase. I was wearing Timberlands for effect. It was the summertime, but I wanted to make a statement, And like now, yeah,
Martha's Vineyard.
it was like I was just trying to make. I thought who was going to take a picture of me? I didn't know, right? And I had a beard sort of like this, but I had my beard trimmers. I thought that like if I'm gonna be in front of Henry Louis Gates, I gotta get sharp, and I gotta get sharp right before the event because you never know. I could end up a law professor off of this gig. Now, why I thought you could go from being a panelist to a law professor is deeply beyond me. But I've seen some movies, and you just fucking never know. And so I get there. Now, this is the great and esteemed Martha's Vineyard. I get there. I take a cab to the hotel. The cab wasn't paid for, and I told dude, yeah, Dr. Gates has the cab fee. The cab driver looked at me like I was a damn fool. He was like, "You want to go to jail?" And I was like, "Why do these people keep threatening me?" So I pay him his little bit of money. I walk into the hotel, and the thing is, I was excited. I wanted to like go on the beach. I mean, I wanted to. Actually, I should tell you this. Lorenz Tate played in the movie Inkwell, and he had fished for some lobster, and so I was planning on fishing for some lobster. So I got the early flight. I got there like 12 o'clock, and I'm telling the cab driver, "Yeah, remember when Lorenz Tate lived here? Where can I get lobster from?" And he's naming hotels and restaurants. Well, he's naming restaurants, and I'm like, "No, I want to be able to fish for my own lobster." And he looks at me, and I think that's why he thought that I belonged in jail or something, because he was like, "Who is this fool?" Right? But he drops me off at the hotel. It's like 12 o'clock. I should say that even though I was really pressed about being paid for these events, and I was only getting paid like $500 or $1,000, but I just really, really needed it. I thought it was important for me to show up on time. Since I've been doing this so frequently, I found out that a lot of writers and intellectuals, and particularly law professors, don't believe that they need to be on time to anywhere except court. And so I show up at like 12 o'clock. The hotel
Also,
people
class. I have to be on time to class. Kind of.
Oh yeah, as a professor, I think you should. As a student, it depends on where you go. So it's funny though, because I show up there like 12, and I ask for my room. It's only one hotel on Martha's Vineyard. How do they make a movie about a place with just one hotel? And this is like beyond me, right? So I'm saying, look, can I get in my room? I need to get ready for the event. And they say your room won't be ready till 4 o'clock. And I literally had never been to a hotel before that would say something like your room won't be ready until 4 o'clock. And I'm saying, well, I'm here. I mean, can it be ready a little bit earlier? They was like, maybe quarter till. And I was like, I should say I had on a wife beater. And this is at the time when, how should I put it? Although the Violence Against Women Act had been passed, I was still culturally adjacent to people who called t-shirts wife beaters, and so I had on this wife beater and Timberlands and boots, but I had a suitcase with one of those extender grips, so I thought that I looked quite sophisticated, and my eyesight is bad, so I also had on glasses, right? I don't know, they didn't think I looked sophisticated.
Glass is an extendable suitcase with wheels, probably.
So he tells me to come back in like a couple hours, so I'm sitting in the lobby, and I hate to admit this, but I wasn't really a professional traveler at that point. So I didn't have a book with me. And so I was sort of kind of just people watching for a good 2 hours. And I realized that I was underdressed for the hotel, which I've never felt in my life.
But you weren't lobster fishing during the 2 hours?
Man, they made that shit up for the movie. I asked some other people, and apparently they don't even have lobsters like in the water around there. They made this up purely for the movie. And I was asking, where's the black part of Martha's Vineyard?
Wait, what movie are you talking about?
Inkwell.
Oh, okay.
You've never seen Inkwell. It's really sad. But no, I was asking folks, where's the black part of Martha's Vineyard? And And I ain't even gonna lie, we talk about race and we talk about culture a lot. But when you ask a question and nobody knows the answer to, you know that race and cultural awareness and like cultural intelligence is real. Because I was like, can you tell me what a Black Martha's Vineyard is? I like to just take a walk through the black part of town. And these folks were looking at me like, there is no black part of Martha's Vineyard. This is the vineyard. It's like, it's no room for them. I was like, them, it's just fucked up, right? So after about 2 hours or so, 2, 3 hours, I'm sitting in the lobby and I'm like, look, I gotta get in a room. I mean, I gotta get dressed for this event. I mean, what the fuck, right? So I go to the desk and I kind of put my charm on. And I'm like, look, it's a really important. You know who Dr. Henry Louis Gates is? The esteemed professor at Harvard? Yeah, well, I'm doing an event with him. And the dude looks at me like, I was like, I don't usually dress like this. I'm actually a writer. What do you write about? Oh, I've been to prison. Ah, so like I was getting there, then I moved back, right? He tells me, he say, look, go use the bathroom and you can like get dressed in the bathroom. I could get dressed in the bathroom. What? But I'm kind of desperate at this point. I mean, I'm not like funky or anything, but I do need to get dressed for the event and I need to shave. And I've been to nice hotels before, and this is a relatively nice hotel, I thought, until I went to the bathroom. The fucking bathroom had one stall and one pisser. I'm like, this is Martha Vineyard. Like this shit, this is a prison bathroom, and it's fucking me up because like one, beggars can't be choosers. But two, this is not my image of Martha's Vineyard. I was supposed to vacation at this place, right? And I'm like, I don't want to be here. So I go in the bathroom because again, beggars can't be choosers, and I got to do what I got to do. So I'm shaving. I got a wife beater on and I'm shaving in the bathroom. Now I was impressed that they had a plug in the bathroom because my real fear was that they won't have a plug. And then I was like, why the fuck do they have a plug in the bathroom? Because like it ain't supposed to be a plug in the bathroom, right? So I got it plugged up. I'm shaving myself. And I gotta be honest, I'm doing a good job too. Like I was like, this is like maybe the best shave I've ever had in my life. And I'm at this point swearing I'm gonna get employed once I get on this stage, right?
So
So
your theory was straight from Martha's Vineyard panel with Henry Louis Gates to being a law professor. That's how
no,
the market worked.
no, at this point, I'm not even like I hated lawyers. No, I thought they was gonna hire me to teach poetry, and because I was the only
Because
poet
that's
on the
how the
panel.
poetry teacher market works, right?
The pipeline, the
It's
Martha's Vineyard pipeline.
it's like
No,
it's,
To academia.
sounds totally plausible to me. I'm buying it.
I mean, and the beauty of it is that like it is no less far fetched than believing Oprah was gonna have me on her show. I mean, that's like the beauty of it. And so look though, I'm shaving, and the door opens, and I jump. This old black dude walks in, kind of bald and head. He's clearly like in his 60s, and I'm trying to shave. And he's like, "Oh, young blood, what's going on?" I'm like, "What's happening, sir?" He's like, "Yo, can you edge me up?" I look at him and I'm thinking, this is not a fucking barbershop. And I want to say this, but I imagine we the only two black people in Martha's Vineyard. And if he got one thing that he's going to take away from this trip, it's not going to be that the black dude and the wife beater in the bathroom who was shaving rejected giving him a haircut. So I look at him.
You gonna charge him money?
Mind you, I'm contemplating it, and my suitcase is there. So I'm kind of figuring out, like, I just don't understand his confusion, right? So I say, sure, I got you. So I'm edging him up, right? Mind you, he barely got any hair. I ain't gonna front. You know what I mean? He like you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't even understand the question, right? But he facing the mirror. I'm edging him up. I gotta say too, I can't cut hair for shit. And this is the other thing. I don't know why he was even trusting me. And so I'm afraid that I'm gonna mess his hair up. And one thing that people will fight you over is fucking their hairline up. Like you will have to go to blows. And then I'm contemplating whether or not I'm gonna get beat up by this old ass man because I fucked his hairline up. I don't know why he's at Martha's Vineyard. So I'm cutting his hair, but my hand is shaking because I'm thinking about all of this shit that shouldn't matter. You know what I mean? And then the door pops open, and it's some young dudes. And you know how young dudes, they like to fucking open the bathroom door like they announcing that they need to urinate. You know what I mean? I'm like, this shit is unnecessary, right? So they open the door and they like, oh shit, Bobby, come check this out. And I'm thinking, and I should say this was like in July, you know? And so when they say Bobby, my dumb ass is like, yo, Bobby Bonilla here? You know, Bobby Bonilla Day, and we had just celebrated that he get $1 million from the Dodgers every year. And it's so funny because he was like, your pops, Bobby, your pops getting a haircut. And then I'm thinking Bobby Bonilla, you know, Oprah didn't work out, but maybe Bobby Bonilla about to give me my check, right? So I'm nervous, and I look, and Bobby Brown walk in. Bobby Brown face look just like your face, Kate. Like half of his face don't work. You know what I mean? He like, oh shit. You know, he like, pops, you getting the cut. I'm cutting Bobby Brown's father's hair. I can't believe this shit. Bobby Brown watches. It ain't take but like 3 or 4 minutes. I told you the man ain't have a lot of hair anyway, right? Take about 3 or 4 minutes. Bobby Brown gives me a dap, gives me hugs, and I'm really excited because I'm like, I just cut Bobby Brown's hair. You know, I'm about to go meet Skip Gates, and I'm really, you know, feeling myself. And so they left. I finished getting dressed. I leave, and as I'm walking, I'm like, but he got to be here doing the show. And if he not, I know he gonna be drinking. He ain't invite me for no drink. He ain't invite me for no show. And so now I'm like discombobulated, right? Because I'm like, it's fucked up. Because how ungrateful can you be? I'm cutting your fucking father's hair in a Martha's Vineyard bathroom, right? And you show me no love? Like you give me a hug and a handshake? Is this all you could do? Like, is you wondering why I'm cutting my own hair in Martha's Vineyard? That's when I knew why I wasn't on Oprah. See, I was concerned about why his father was in the bathroom, who his father was. Bobby Brown didn't give a fuck about me. He was just like, oh, random dude cut my dad hair. Let's keep it moving. Me, I'm trying to get all of this backstory. I started Googling Bobby Brown to find out why he's in Martha's Vineyard. Now, when you stalking somebody like that on your way to a panel about mass incarceration, you kind of feel weird, right? So I stopped. I'm like, fuck it, I'm stopping, right? I get there, and they had a poet open up the show. And they called this person one of the best poets in the United States. And I was like, do these motherfuckers, do they not know that I'm a poet? You know? And clearly I'm not going to get a job teaching at Harvard now. It's no way that it's going to happen, right? So I'm on the panel. Panel lasts an hour. It was interesting. You know, I got to say a couple things. Got to meet Michelle Alexander. It was so funny that you think having gone to prison and survived and then came home and like written a book means something until three people inform you that it doesn't. You know, and so like I'm sitting on a panel and I'm like, you know, and they was like, yeah, I mean, you know, it was like, I'm really proud of you, and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, you don't offer people tenure who you're proud of, and that's what I knew in that moment. So ever since then, when people tell me they're proud of me, I get nervous, right? But it's cool, right? It's cool, and this day is long. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, right? So we do the event. The poet wasn't even, I don't want to say what I think about the poet because I don't want to feel like a hater, but let's just say that I had won an NAACP award, image award, and this person hadn't, right? Now, again, nobody in life has ever said that. So that shows you how well my books have done so far, right? When I'm bragging about NAACP image awards, but whatever, you know, I won it. I was happy about it. And I'm still happy, right? And I go to this. So they say, all right, well, would you like to go to the dinner? And I'm thinking, damn right, I'm going to get a dinner out of this. I done got shitted on by Bobby Brown and his pops. I thought I was going to get a job teaching poetry, and y'all brought another poet to introduce the panel that I'm on, right? You know, my mom is like, son, I thought you was a poet. How come they had this other guy reading poems, you know? And I had a poetry book out that time, and it was like they didn't even mention that you were a poet. And it's just so like my people were just like so exhausted by the whole idea. They was like, well, if you're not a poet, why did you get an MFA? Isn't your degree in poetry? It was just so crazy talking to my mom, explaining this event. My wife, I had to explain it to her. I explained it to Makai, but he was a baby, so he just was like, he just wasn't understanding it at all. He was just like crying and shit, right? So anyway, they tell me, you want to come to dinner? And I'm like, yes. So I get in a cab and we go to dinner, and it's on. I was like, damn, this is the Martha's Vineyard that they were talking about, because this shit is on so much land, and like you could see the water, and I'm chilling. I'm taking pictures with Henry Louis Gates with the whiskey showing, just to be like I'm legit. I got, I'm taking a picture. He put his drink down and pissed me off because then I looked like the one that was like, why am I drinking? But I was like, whatever. I took a selfie with him, and we're talking. He passes me off to this woman. He's like, oh, we got a poet here, and this older white woman comes over to us. If you a young black dude, shit, if you a young white dude, shit, if you a young white woman, basically, if you anybody at a party and they pass you off to the older white poet and you ain't never heard of this person, you feel like Bobby Brown has just told you, thanks for cutting my dad's head, and left you in a bathroom alone. So when they leave me with this older white woman, I am really fucked up. I just feel like I had an audition for the job interview, and whatever I needed to say to my man Skip, I did not say. I'm talking to this woman though, because I'm a gentleman, and I talk too much. So I was like, fuck it, the audience is an audience. And so we kicking it. I'm finding out she liked poetry, and then I'm finding out that the flim flam had happened, right? Because what happened is Skip had introduced her as a poet, but she was really like a professor at the Kennedy School, and we're talking, right? And she says, and I swear to God, this is true, right? And I know when people say shit is true, they lying, but I swear to God, this is true. She said, my late husband, because she said something, and I was like, I'm learning how to play the harmonica. And you reaching in a conversation where like you just discovered you have arthritis by trying to learn how to play the harmonica, and you're bringing it up in random conversation. I'm telling her about my, how I'm trying to learn how to play the harmonica. And I'm like, but it hurts my hands. And she says, my late husband played the harmonica. And I look at her. I was like, shit, I can't believe this. And I asked her to tell me what she was saying again. And she said, well, you know, my late husband played the harmonica. My late husband Bill. And I'm like, yo, was your husband William Styron? Shit, I read Sophie's Choice when I was in prison. And this shit is fucked up because like I was looking for Sophie's World. Sophie's World is a book about philosophy, and I asked the teacher to give me Sophie's World, but she gave me Sophie's Choice. I was 16, and it fucked me up completely. Are you telling me your husband is William Styron? And she looked at me like she saw a ghost or something, right? And she was like, how the fuck do you know that? I ain't know this woman's name at all. And her name is Rose. And she was like, yeah, William Styron is my husband. So then we had this fascinating conversation about William Styron. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And I was like, and you a poet too? And I was more impressed by the poet thing than her being the wife of Bill Styron. But I just couldn't believe that, like, that I was at some spot in Martha's Vineyard with the late wife of Bill Styron. And so I'm like, shit, this day is turning up. And I'm wondering if she's gonna hire me at the Kennedy School. I just don't really know. And I gotta be honest, I don't really know what the Kennedy School is. So when they told me she was at the Kennedy School, I was like, I don't know where to go yet. So then we go into dinner. This is the year that LeBron James went to the Miami Heat. Black people don't like the Boston Celtics. It dates back to Len Bias. It probably dates back to Bill Russell and John Thompson, but I like to act like it dates back to Len Bias, right? I like to act like the Boston Celtics cursed Len Bias by picking him, and then they brought on mass incarceration. And I know that's a lot to put on one organization, but who gives a fuck, right? So what happens is we're talking basketball, and because of my emotional response to the Celtics, I ain't got my thinker on. So somebody's like, yo, who do you like to win the championship this year? My dumb ass say the Miami Heat. We go sit down. The white dude that I was talking to tells the other white dude, yo, Dwayne thinks the Miami Heat will win the championship. He says he wants to see LeBron James win. Somebody whispers to me, he owns the Boston Celtics. Fuck! What? You mean own? So all I had to do was say that I spent my entire life admiring the Boston Celtics. that I always wanted to be like Bill Russell, that Bob Cousy was the player I most admired, that Reggie Williams, when he died, I felt like I lost a part of me. Me and Len Bias went to the same neighborhood. I've been living with this tragedy for years. All I had to say was those things, and I might have got lifetime tickets to the Boston. He might have made me a coach. But no, he didn't talk to me for the rest of the night. So when it's time to leave, I don't know where I am. It's late at night. You can understand by this point I started drinking too much. Little tipsy. You would think somebody would help me to my car. I asked a few folks to write letters of recommendation for me. Actually, I asked one person. Out of pity, that person said yes.
I love that so much. You drunk at the end of the night going around asking people for letters of recommendation.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so good.
I got him, and then I got in my cab, and the next morning I flew home with a story to tell.
Holy shit.
All right. So we got a shitload on the table. I want to note that right now the audience has you lying by 59% to 41%. So we've got two members of the audience here to interrogate you. Let's see if you can bring that trust number up. Eve, the floor is yours.
Sorry, me? Yes, sorry. Actually, my question is not really on the substance of the history, but more on the way you've told it. It was, if it was not written and or rehearsed, I'd say to you, you should be on a comedian. You should add comedian on your resume. So I was wondering, was it all improvisation, or was it how do you end up? Did you end up to do this 30 minutes of speaking with perfect flow and breaks after punchline and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's two ways to answer this question. One is to say that Kevin Hart was my best friend growing up, and no, seriously, and he was. I grew up in PG County, and we were really close, and I learned so much from him. So that's one way. And another way is to say that and this is honestly also true, that I didn't prepare at all, and I was struggling with which story to tell. And I think my nervousness allowed me to have more skill than I actually have in real life.
Good.
Does that make you, Eve, more or less likely to believe the substance of the story?
Actually, I have another question. Are you allowed to lie in your answer to questions?
Oh, I actually was about to ask that same thing.
No, there are totally no rules. Dwayne's allowed to lie with impunity anytime he wants, because otherwise you could just ask him, was that story true? And he'd have to confess if it was false. So no, you get a total pass. You are allowed to lie on this show, and it's your job to puncture the lie. If you
And I mean, as a lawyer by training, lawyers don't lie. Though, as a lawyer by training, I could tell you, in all honesty, I've actually
You're ruining it. You're ruining it.
Okay, lawyers lie. Lawyers lie by habit and by training.
Yeah. Okay. Paula, go ahead. Oh, Paula's frozen, I think. You there, Paula? Oh, you have to refresh. Okay. Bummer. I'm gonna close Paula.
Genevieve, do you have questions?
What was your drink of choice at the party?
It's so funny because this was before actually I finished my MFA, and I didn't drink bourbon until my MFA, so I just had brown liquor, and I don't know what it was. It probably was. I was trying to be sophisticated, so I I told Skip, I said, I'll have what you're having. So it was something on the rocks, and it was I think it was whiskey. It wasn't bourbon because it wasn't dark enough.
I have a question. Paula's back. But go ahead, Paula. Ask your question.
So do I get 3 questions? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Okay. So
Eve has one more.
Okay. Do you want Eve to take her last question?
No. I'll let her. You go and ask your 3.
Okay. Do you always remember what shoes you're wearing? You said you remembered the shoes that you were wearing when you got on the plane.
No, I don't always remember what shoes I'm wearing, but I should say that I have a pair of Kyries and I have three pair of them because I don't really fixate on shoes, but I had the tie-dye Kyries and I knew I liked them a lot and they were going to disappear from stores, so I got three pair, and I can't really remember other. I do got a lot of pair of it's a shoemaker in Milwaukee, actually, Allen Edmonds. So I have a few pair of Allen Edmonds that I remember when I put on, but usually I don't remember exactly what shoe I have on, but I have something of a fetish for things that I like or that I'm doing to make a point. And you got to understand that the way that Timberlands exist in the culture of like black folks and poverty and like street shit, that I just felt like it would be a good story to one day say, yo, I landed on Martha's Vineyard with a pair of Timberlands in July. The first time I got to tell people this, but I thought back then it would be great when I did it.
So my second question is, you said it was a one-person bathroom, right?
No, I said it was a bathroom that had one pisser and one toilet. I mean,
Gotcha.
technically that is for one person in the real world, but in prison in Martha's Vineyard, it's as many people as could fit in.
Gotcha. Do you maybe wonder why when Bobby Brown's dad went in, Bobby Brown also went in, and then his friends? Don't you think that's a lot of people for such a small bathroom?
Nah, I mean, we got 2.8 million people in prison. I think that we have a really skewed sense of space in America. So no, you know.
Okay, and then my last question is, why do you think the owner of the Boston Celtics was at the panel? Do you think like he just really liked poetry, or maybe he had connections to someone there? Did he ever say why he was there? It wasn't like a...
So you clearly don't understand who Skip Gates is. I still don't understand who he is, but I was like, here's the thing.
I think that many people might not understand who Skip Gates is.
So Skip Gates is an intellectual. He's a historian. He teaches at Harvard. But the thing is, though, all of these folks were older than him. He was the Oprah Winfrey of the show. And so these were just his personal friends. I once got pulled over, for some bullshit speeding thing. And I said, I'll fucking tell the president, Obama's the president. The cop started laughing. It was like, I'm just going to give you a warning, kid. That was funny. So, but like when Skip Gates did that, they had the whole beard summit and all of that shit. So, it's just Skip Gates. It had nothing to do with anybody else that was there.
Okay. So that was very good.
Your final question.
Why have you chosen to tell this particular story? Like, is it like the most interesting story that happened in all of your life? Like, why this?
I've been to prison. Hell no. This ain't the most interesting story. No, I went to prison when I was 16. I got a few interesting stories. I told this one though because come on. I cut Bobby Brown's father's hair in the bathroom. It is like the most culturally significant thing to happen over the past decade, and the most irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of like saying like if like Madonna was cursing out somebody on the side of the street and she accidentally like spit on you, you would tell everybody that story. You know what I mean? It's just like one of those things.
Okay. So,
all right, KK, you have to do your questions. Genevieve has two more.
Have you told this story at the Moth before?
You know what? I've listened to the Moth, but I've never been on the Moth.
It's a good Moth story.
It would be a really good Moth story.
We got panel questions, and then we've got verdicts to do. Yeah. KK, you have questions?
Though that was my question. So. I think that the only other question that I have is, how old were you?
My book came out in 2009. This probably, they don't do stuff like this when books are old, so this probably would have been like 2010. So I was close to 30 or not yet 30,
Okay. All right. Ben?
Had you ever been on a small plane before?
No.
So like you flew from Boston to Martha's Vineyard on a puddle jumper, and that was your first time on a puddle jumper?
Yeah, and it's fucked up because I've been to Provincetown before, and I had been on a ferry to get to Provincetown. So when I got on that little puddle jump, I was like, where the fuck is the ferry at?
So I'm interested. Like the first time I was on a little plane, like that was a real experience for me. Like it's so different from being on a jet. But you kind of skated over the little plane thing. I'm curious, well, like why wasn't that a bigger deal for you than it was?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe because I've been on a few more since then. I mean, it was a big deal that I sat beside the pilot, but yeah, it's just an airplane. Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it was interesting that like I was able to sit beside the pilot, but I don't really have a bad stomach. The only reason I felt like I was gonna throw up is because like when you get up there and then you start to go, it's like you being on a roller coaster. And honestly, I don't want to talk to a pilot. Like you can't even enjoy a flight when the pilot keeps trying to impress you with the little gizmos and shit. Do you know what this does? Fucking don't know what that does. So I didn't even like enjoy it as much as I might have. I was like, can I touch a button? And you ask a dude, can you touch a button? And he act like you sexually harassed him or something. So and I was black and he was white, and it was all of these racial dynamics between like, why are you going to Martha's Vineyard? And in my head, I was like, he might ask the white person who's in the same spot why he's going to Martha's Vineyard or she's going to Martha's Vineyard. But I felt like he was only asking because I hadn't combed my hair that week, and it was just a lot of attention.
I get that a lot. Never combing my hair.
Ben, you're muted.
So did he put the emphasis on the word you in the sentence? So it wasn't like, so why are you going to Martha's Vineyard? But he says, so why are you going to Martha's Vineyard? Then it kind of brings out the racial side of it, right?
No, to be honest, like in retrospect, it was completely innocuous. Like, oh, so what takes you to Martha's Vineyard? Like it was just like, it's just like, I bet he would, like if I was to ask him, he'd be like, dude, first of all, I don't remember you. Second of all, I fucking hate that flight, and I do it 7 times per day when I'm on duty. It's like, don't overestimate your value or your worth or your significance. Like I think it's a 27-minute. First of all, why would you get on a flight that's only 27 minutes? I think I could have walked to Martha's Vineyard across the water and got there faster. It was crazy.
I will say, Dwayne, if you mention how you just got out of prison or you're a former felon as often as you have on this show, then I think that like he could have been like, why are you going to Martha's Vineyard? And it would have had nothing to do.
But to be honest, I didn't even tell Bobby Brown's pops I just got out. I should have though. I didn't. If I would have thought that it would have appealed. First of all, if I'd have thought that he was Bobby Brown's pops when I started cutting his hair, I'd have been like, I learned to cut hair in the joint. But I was just trying to play it low key. And plus, I'm like, I'm distinguished. I got a suit in my suitcase. You know what I mean? It was 3 sizes too big, and I hadn't heard of Allen Edmonds yet, so my shoes was funky as hell. I think I probably wore the Timberlands that night. Who knows?
So I have,
all right,
I have,
Genevieve, do you have questions?
I've got my two extras. So what color was your suit?
Oh, it was Have you ever been to Men's Warehouse or Joseph A. Banks?
Yes.
So Joseph A. Banks is like, this is like, if you ever date somebody, man or woman or child, who says they got a suit from Joseph A. Banks, you should run. You should run, and you should tell them to seek therapy, because literally this is actually the worst decision in life you can make, is to buy a suit from Joseph A. Banks. And you'd be like, well, I got 2 for the price of 1. Motherfucker, no, you didn't. You got a quarter of a suit for the price of 3. And when you ask them what color you should get, they always say shit like this: the dark gray will look great against your skin tone. So I got on this funky ass dark gray suit that doesn't look like any color. Some people think it's black, some people think it's blue, and you talk about like a box cut. I mean, it fit me as if I told you I'd been to prison. It fit me as if I had not spent the last decade doing thousands of push-ups. It was so embarrassing. At this point, I got 2 children. I've been like drinking whiskey. But back then, I could have had on a better cut suit. And I know that's a tangent, and you just asked me what color the suit was. But part of me always needs to rant when I got to say those names. Joseph A. And it ain't even Joseph. Like, that's the other insulting thing, like Joseph A. Banks. But anyway, I had on a Joseph A. Banks suit that was dark gray, and I got 2 for the price of probably 20.
Okay, and then my final question is, you said you stopped Googling why Bobby was there. Did you ever, because it felt creepy to try and figure out why he was there, did you ever figure out why he was on Martha's Vineyard that day?
I hate to admit this, because I carried a whole lot of anger around me towards Bobby Brown after this shit happened, right? But I think the motherfucker was just vacationing. You know what I mean? Like I was searching and searching and searching, and then it struck me. It's like, who the fuck in Martha's Vineyard is trying to go to a Bobby Brown concert, right? It's like, I'm sorry, that's just not the audience for him. And so it turns out that he just needed some chill time, just like everybody. And I bet this motherfucker thought he wouldn't be noticed. You know what I mean? That's the other thing. I think he was just like, nobody's gonna notice me here, so. Nah.
Okay. I think I asked two, so I have one more. Okay. My last question, Dwayne, have you or have you not on multiple occasions told me that people regularly compare you to Idris Elba? Even though Idris Elba is like 7 feet tall and you are like 5'6".
I just want to say something. First of all, that kind of bothers me a little bit. I'm decidedly not 5'6".
How tall are you?
I'm 6 feet with heels.
With
six,
Timberlands.
I'm 6'2" with heels.
I'm 5'6".
Yeah,
Wait,
I'm
you are
5'11".
okay. I will give
You got Dwayne and me confused.
I'm also terrible at judging height, so I also don't
dunk a
think that Idris
basketball.
Elba is 7 feet tall.
I
Although
could
he
dunk
might
a
be.
basketball.
How tall is he?
I've dunked the basketball. No, I'm just saying I've dunked the basketball, like with my hand and the ball, and so like don't come for my height. I mean, and I got my wallet. And then in terms of Idris Elba, me being mistaken for Idris Elba, like I don't want to begrudge anybody's fantasies. I actually tell you this other thing. This is some bullshit, but me and my wife, we was at IHOP one day, right? And this white couple was sitting. We used to go to IHOP to do homework, and this white couple was there, and it was like the white woman was smiling at me. She's an older white woman. She's smiling and shit. Her husband's like, "How the fuck you smiling at him?" And she says, "You look just like Ed Norton." And I'm cheesed, and I'm like, people say shit like that. And my wife is like, "Yo, you must don't know who the fuck Ed Norton is." So I'm smiling and laughing and shit. And then and I'm talking to the woman and I'm being all charming, and they leave. And my wife was like, "Do you know who he is?" And she's Googling shit, and it's some white dude. So the fact that the fact that people think I look like Idris Elba, I'm just saying, at the time I used to rock the mohawk. All black people look alike. They say it was in the shoulders and the eyes. I was wearing contacts then. With glasses, people don't say it as much. But when I'm saying, yes, I have told you multiple times, because every time somebody tells me that, I make sure that I tell you. I need somebody to say it in public.
I love you. This is why we're friends. It's like so good. Okay.
All right.
Verdicts.
We are ready for verdicts here. Let's start with we'll let the audience be influenced by panel and interrogator verdicts. Ave, why don't we start with you? What's your verdict on this story? Is it bullshit or is it real?
50% of the details are made up. Kind of. So it was like a great pretext to.
Wait, start again because you were muted.
Oh, sorry. So the Bobby stories is true. Like the air cutting in the bathroom is probably true. The details are made up.
Interesting.
Paula, what do you think?
Is this like a Jonathan Rauch 50-50 thing? Is like what you're saying?
No, the Jonathan Rauch story was totally false. It was just like he dreamt of doing it, but he didn't do it.
Yes,
that's
true.
Like,
that's true.
I think Eve is saying broad outlines of the story. So did Skip Gates' panel that happen? Meeting the owner of the Boston Celtics, putting his foot in his mouth. Did that happen?
No.
So you think only the Bobby Brown haircut, dad and the
Yeah, basically.
Okay,
yeah.
so a few components of the story are true, but basically there's a lot of bullshit in there.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, Paula, what do you think?
I think it's a lie. It runs too much like a comedy sketch, like too many things linked together to be like rehearsed and funny, and I don't think it's true.
Genevieve?
I'm going all in. It's true. Because I loved it and I hope it's true. And sometimes real life is weirder than any story.
I 100% think it's true.
All right. I have gone back and forth. I've changed my vote in the poll about a dozen times. Um, I am going here with the triumph of faith over experience. Jonathan Rausch fooled me. I know I'm going to regret this, but I think this is all true.
Okay.
All right, the audience, this is your last chance to change your vote, audience members. We're
Wow.
down.
We have 50 people think that you're lying, Dwayne. 30 think that you're not and telling the truth. So
Yeah,
like
so
62,
this is
38.
So, what's the truth here, Dwayne? Is it all bullshit?
You know, I gotta say a few things. So first, let's say it's 100% true. That whole thing about Ross, you cannot mix truth and facts and then ask somebody. I mean, that's what you do when you talk to police. Like, if it's either true or it's not true, right? Like, it would be rude to like take some truth and like mix it with lies. I think that would be rude and it wouldn't be fair. So it's 100% true. Yeah, it's 100% true. I would say the only thing that's like might have been embellished is because of memory's sake. So maybe everything I said that happened between me and the pilot didn't happen, but everything else is 100% true, and so true in fact that I left part of it out because I didn't want to give it away. I asked Skip for a letter of recommendation. I was like, let me send you my poetry manuscript, because I don't want you to just have to say yes on the spot. I sent them the manuscript for Bastards of the Reagan Era. Then I got a Radcliffe Fellowship. And he wrote my letter of rec for the Radcliffe Fellowship. And then while I was at Radcliffe, it's another story that could be true or a lie. But anyway, at Radcliffe, that's when I decided to go to law school. So it was 100% true.
I am so thrilled by that because I love it when the audience gets it wrong. I love it when the panel gets it right, and particularly love it when I get it right because it's ultimately these things are humiliating when you get wrong. I have a serious question though. When you tell a story like that, there are so many disparate threads, right? You got your Skip Gates thread, you got your Bobby Brown's father cutting his hair in the bathroom thread, you've got your talking to the pilot on the way there, you've got your fresh out of prison in the hotel, in the one hotel in Martha's Vineyard. How do you construct a cohesive narrative out of it?
One thing for the audience, I lied about Kevin Hart, but I told you that I lied about Kevin Hart because I said we were from the same place.
Can you tell me about your livers?
That's a lie too. But I lied. I lied about Kevin Hart, but I put the seed in there so that you knew that it was a lie because Kevin Hart is from Philly. He is not from PG County, so there's no way that we could have grew up together.
But you can't. I'm sorry.
Assume the audience
That's
knows you're
cheating,
from
man.
PG
It's got to
County.
either be all true or all false.
No, that was a lie to a question. That wasn't a part of the story.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah,
right.
that
You're
was-
allowed to lie to the question.
Yeah. And I actually lied to the question after you told her that I could lie to the question, not before. In terms of the story, I actually the thing it's interesting because I think about the story sort of building on itself, and I don't know if in the moment these things mattered in the same way, but it mattered that I was struggling in a way so that you could understand that it was something at stake, and also that the possibility that like all of this shit could have not happened because I was in some ways arrogant, asking to be paid for what people were doing routinely for free. So the setup that the whole story becomes improbable.
See, I knew that was the part that was so emotionally true for me because I remember being a freelance writer and all these people expecting you to not get paid for your work, and this like and pretending you can. Of course, now that this is what I do, I get people to write for Lawfare and don't pay them. But back then, it was the height of injustice, and the way they would trade on the prestige of what they were asking for. You get to do something for the National Academy of Arts. You shouldn't expect to get paid. No, that totally had the ring of truth to this.
Yes, and I felt like you set that up, and then the Bobby Brown thing. I mean, that was just like, it's supposed to be the only part of the story that matters. But then you get the whole event, which was lukewarm, and that's why I didn't really have a lot in the event because it was a mundane academic event, except the fact that they had a poet, which was like, are you serious? They had a poet and you were a poet. And then I think you end off with the boss with the one you end off with. It kind of keeps building up in absurdity, right? Because then you get the Rose meeting Rose, and I honestly don't even know why I said, "Are you Bill Styron's wife?" Like that's the craziest shit I ever said in life, and it turned out to be true. And then you get the Boston Celtics, so it's like absurdity on absurdity. It feels like the kind of story that, you know. But I don't know. I think I got a few stories like that. I think part of it is freewheeling, and you kind of try to respond to your own. Like I relived it while I was telling it. So for me, I try to respond to my own joy and like having a new. And it's funny because I had another story I was struggling with. Like, do I tell you this one? But I was like, you know what? I like this story, and let's just like enjoy this one. And the other one is just as good, but it's like the other one might be a lie. And I was like, let's just enjoy this one and let folks see if they believe this.
I love that.
We are going to leave it there. We are playing this game again tomorrow with Sarah Bond, who has promised us a story about the sex lives and deaths of Roman emperors.
Ooh.
I have no idea if it's true, but that it will be tomorrow. Tomorrow's Where's the Lie? Dwayne Betts, you are a great American. This was a great story.
That was
I don't
incredible.
think anybody
Thank you so
knew
much.
whether it was true for sure until you announced that it was 100% true. Come back and do another one anytime you like.
I know it's a pleasure, man. I had a lot of fun. Thank you guys.
Thank
You
you.
guys, you're the best.
We
right,
will
take
be
care.
back 23 hours and 2 minutes from now. And until then, Kate,
We don't have fun anymore. We also don't have feeling on half our face, but we do. we do have some truth and some lies. See you
do.
tomorrow.
Hey, before you cut the stream off, though, I just want to say what I said to you in a text before. I have been listening to a bunch of the early episodes of In Lieu of Fun on the podcast stream, and if I do say so myself, they are fucking great. So you should go back, subscribe to the podcast stream, share the podcast stream with everybody you've ever met, and listen to some of the old back episodes. Some great discussions. See you tomorrow, folks.
Bye, friends.
Hey, everyone.